The sun was dipping low over the Santa Monica Pier, turning the sky into streaks of gold and pink, when a cry cut through the laughter of the crowd. A wheelchair spun sideways, one wheel lifted off the wooden planks as a young girl desperately tried to keep her balance. Her backpack spilled onto the pier. Books, a small stuffed bear, and a tiny bottle of pain medication tumbling out like pieces of her life scattered at the feet of cruelty. Her heart pounded painfully in her chest as the sneaker of a teenage bully shoved the footrest of her chair again. "Move, Cripple!" His voice was sharp and mean, slicing through the evening air. She couldn't move fast enough, not the way they wanted. Her small hands trembled as she tried to turn the wheels, but her left arm had barely enough strength. The boys laughed. One kicked the back of her chair, another grabbed the bear she cherished, holding it out of reach as she pleaded silently with her tear-filled eyes. The crowd around them watched from a distance, hoping someone else would step in. But no one did. Not yet. And the girl felt more alone than ever, trapped in a moment she had spent her whole life learning to fear. Before the story continues, if you believe in kindness, courage, and second chances, please like this video, share with others, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps support powerful stories like this. Her name was Lily Thompson. She was 13, though life had aged her spirit far beyond that number. Born with cerebral palsy, she lived in a body that refused to obey her dreams. Every push of the wheelchair was a battle, every outing a reminder that the world was not built for someone like her. But Lily loved the ocean. Here, on the pier, the salty breeze felt like freedom. She and her father visited Santa Monica every few weeks, eating ice cream and watching street performers while she imagined she was dancing on strong, steady legs. Today should have been another one of those precious escapes. But instead, it had become her personal nightmare. Her father, Ben, was only a few steps away in a long line to buy her favorite cotton candy. In those seconds he was gone, the boys noticed her. They noticed her vulnerability. They noticed she couldn't run. And the cruelty that lived in them noticed the power imbalance and seized it. The leader, a tall boy with a baseball cap turned backwards, bent down to her level just to mock her. "Come on, don't you want to play?" he taunted, pushing her chair into a trash can. The impact made her wince. Her fingers burned as she gripped the wheels harder. She tried to tell them to stop, to leave her alone, but the words caught in her throat like broken glass. This wasn't the first time someone treated her like she didn't belong. Kids at school whispered. Some teachers pitied her, but being kicked, being humiliated in front of strangers, that was a new wound. The tall boy flicked her stuffed bear into the air. It hit the wooden boards and rolled toward the edge of the pier. Panic surged through Lily like electricity. That bear wasn't just a toy, it was the last gift her mother gave her before she died 2 years ago. Lily felt breathless, begging her hand to move, to reach, to stop what was happening. But her arm betrayed her as always, slow and weak. Tears blurred her vision. The bullies laughed harder. People stared but stayed silent. Some pulled out phones, recording pain as if it were entertainment. The world had turned crueler than she ever imagined. Then, one last brutal kick sent her wheelchair rolling dangerously close to the railing. The ocean's roar suddenly felt like a threat. If the front wheels tipped, then a different sound emerged. A low rumble at first, like distant thunder rolling across the pier. Engines, multiple engines. The bullies stopped laughing. They turned their heads. One by one, massive motorcycles pulled through the pier entrance, chrome gleaming beneath the setting sun, leather. Jackets catching the wind, boots hitting the planks with weight that demanded attention. A sea of bikers was arriving. Lily blinked through tears. She wasn't sure if she was imagining it. They looked like warriors from another world, united in a single unstoppable wave. There must have been 30 of them, all wearing the same emblem on their jackets, Sons of Guardians. Some stepped off their bikes and stood tall, arms crossed, faces carved with years of weather and grit. Others, still seated, revved their engines in perfect, intimidating rhythm. The air seemed to vibrate. The tall bully's smirk crumbled. His friends shuffled backward like their bravado had drained from their shoes. One biker in particular, towering, bearded, tattoos stretching down his thick arms, began walking toward Lily. His eyes were sharp, protective, burning with disbelief at what he'd just witnessed. The boys tried to slip into the crowd, but one biker blocked their path. Another scooped up Lily's fallen backpack. The one approaching her knelt down in front of her wheelchair, making sure he was at eye level. He didn't yell. He didn't need to. His presence alone demanded respect. He gently retrieved the stuffed bear from near the railing, dusted it off, and placed it carefully on her lap. Lily clutched it against her chest like a lifeline. Her breaths were shaky, but for the first time today, she felt safe. Her father came racing over, fear painted across his face until he saw Lily unharmed. Relief shattered him for a moment. He dropped to his knees, pulling her into his arms as tears slipped free. But his gratitude soon shifted into anger, trembling through his clenched jaw as he faced the boys who hurt his child. Before he could act, the bearded biker placed a firm hand on his shoulder, grounding him. Not with force, just with understanding. The bikers already had everything under control. Several bystanders were suddenly eager to talk, to admit they'd seen everything, phones that once recorded Lily's suffering, now recorded justice. The bullies were held right there, surrounded, unable to flee when police officers arrived. The tall boy tried to claim they were just playing, but the truth was written all over Lily's reddened cheeks, all over her trembling hands. As the officers took the boys aside, the biker who had knelt beside Lily turned back to her. He introduced himself quietly as Mark. He explained that Sons of Guardians was a biker charity group that rode across communities to support and protect vulnerable people, especially kids facing disabilities or bullying. They had been on a charity ride near the pier and saw what was happening just in time. Lily stared up at him, her voice too soft to use, but her eyes spoke for her. "Thank you." Mark smiled gently, but behind that gentleness was a fire kindled by the injustice he'd witnessed. He asked Lily and her father if they would join the biker group for a small celebration nearby. They weren't asking for anything in return, just offering kindness. Still shaken, Lily hesitated at the idea of so much attention, but her dad gently encouraged her. She had spent too many days hiding. Today, she deserved to feel proud. With Mark and two others guiding the wheelchair safely, they escorted her along the pier like she was someone royalty. For once, people looked at Lily not with pity, but with admiration. They brought her to a row of motorcycles where one bike stood out, white and silver with a smaller passenger seat modified for safety. Mark explained that it had been specially built as part of their program for kids with mobility challenges. Lily's breath caught. He asked her if she wanted to sit on it, just to feel what it would be like. Her eyes widened. Her father lifted her carefully with guidance from the bikers. Sitting atop the bike, Lily felt more powerful than she ever had. The handlebars beneath her fingers, the seat supporting her, her crooked legs didn't matter. Up here, she wasn't trapped by her disability. She was unstoppable. The bikers cheered. The ocean breeze lifted her hair as if celebrating her strength. Mark took a photo of her with her father, both smiling. Something pure and victorious captured in that moment. People passing by smiled too. Some kids even waved at her like she was the star of the pier. Soon the officers approached again to give updates. The bullies were being taken in. Their parents contacted. Statements gathered. Justice wasn't always swift, but today it arrived with roaring engines and fearless hearts. Lily's father thanked every biker, tears of gratitude streaming freely. He knew he would never forget what they did for his daughter. As the evening turned into night, the lights of the pier glowed around them. Mark crouched beside Lily once more. He told her that the strength she showed, even in silence, was extraordinary. He reminded her that broken bodies could still hold unbreakable spirits. Lily absorbed those words deep into her heart, where they would live forever. Back at home later that night, Lily stared at the photo Mark had taken. She couldn't stop smiling. She thought about the sun glittering off the motorcycle, the feeling of finally being seen, not as someone weak, but as someone brave. Her father tucked her into bed with her stuffed bear at her side. "I'm proud of you," he whispered. Lily fell asleep, replaying the moment when the bikers arrived, how the world had shifted in an instant. Kindness had ridden in like a rescue, and for the first time in a long time, Lily felt hopeful that tomorrow could be a little brighter. that people like Mark and his brothers existed, people who stood up when others looked away. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, comment your feelings, share it with someone who needs to believe in hope, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Your support truly matters. Before we end, we want to hear from you. Comment below. Have you ever witnessed a moment where strangers protected someone who was vulnerable? What did it teach you about humanity? The sun may have set on the Santa Monica Pier that day, but something powerful rose inside Lily. She carried the memory like a shield, stronger than any bully's words. And she knew, no matter what the world told her, she was not a burden. She was not weak. She was not to life.